we set?
I want to start.
One, two, I will set. Okay, thank you very much. My name is Bonginkosi Kanyile, one of the national executive of the Mzansi Security Association, which is an association fresh and new from the box. And we are here to deliberate and present our association to South Africans, Africa and the world. We are going to have two sessions on this brief. The first session will be that to deliberate on what is it that we are bringing to the fore. What kind of association is it? What does it stand for? Why should this association exist? Then the second session will be that of the question and answer sessions. From everything that has been presented, you are allowed to ask any questions. So, as in when you see the need to do so. But of course, prior we read why do we exist and why did we take a decision to exist and why we chose this path, what we've chosen. We are going to start with the first on the agenda, which will be the introduction of guests, and of course the purpose of the day. And the first session will be chaired by the chairperson of this association, which is the sir that I'm about to give the mic to, who's next to me. As I hand over the session to Chairman.
Good afternoon. Hope everyone is settled. My name is Tulane Makubu. I'm the chairperson of the association, which is Mzansi National Security Association. I want to thank everyone who's here. Let's just give a round of applause. I'm gonna do the opening of this media briefing. And good afternoon, distinguished guests, colleague, partners, and friends. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all in the significant occasion of the launch of Mzansi National Association. Today marks the beginning of the new chapter in strengthening our collective commitment to safety, professionalism, and collaboration within the security industry. Security is not about protection. It is about building trust, ensuring stability, and creating an environment where communities and businesses and individuals can thrive without fear. This association has been established to unite practitioners, share expertise upon the highest standards, and advocate importance of working together to address the evolving challenges of safety and security in our country. As we launch this association today, let us stand as a platform for unity, collaboration, and growth. Let us commit ourselves to excellence, integrity, and innovation in everything we do. On behalf of the Foundation Members Organization Committee, I thank you for joining us today. May this event inspire meaningful conversation and mark the beginning of impactful partnership. Together we will strengthen the security industry and in doing so contribute to safety and of our nation. Thank you. I would like to introduce my SG, Bishop T. Mabena.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Just a last round of applause to our chairperson, ladies and gentlemen. I know that we are in a business space, but let's just try to be alive. Now, thank you very much, Executive of the Mzansi National Security Association. Standing before you, ladies and gentlemen, is your Secretary General of this massive heat-waving move association that's about to hit the entire nation. Mine is too short, is because of prominent remarks that's been made by my colleague, is to firstly, foremost, to welcome the executive, the panel that is sitting here. They will just stand when I call them as one by one. First and foremost, I want to welcome the founder and the vision bearer of this vision, His Excellency, the prominent ME, Date Situna, as our overseer, President ME Situna. Can you just stand? And of course, next to him, a person who decided to take my seat there. I'm just kidding. It is the chairperson of the organization, Ngateti Makubo, as he stands. On my far right, the most prominent, our spokesperson, the Chief Communications Officer, Mr. Bonginkosi Kanyile. I sense some jealous on those hands. But nevertheless, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Executive, for such an opportunity given. As I've mentioned, myself, or may you kindly clap for me as the Secretary General. Mine is too short, ladies and gentlemen, is to just take in process the word of purpose, or let me say the why are we here, before the actual media statement that will be delivered on behalf of the president of the organization. It is indeed that today marks a huge standard or step in history, with clarity of a vision and unity of purpose. That the Mzansi National Security Association has been born as a non-profit organization, company of companies, created to stand as the collective voice of the marginalized business within South Africa's security industry, in particularly your black, your Indian, your colored, marginalized companies in our country. For too long, that the business of security has been monopolized by a minority, while the black, colored, and Indian owned companies have been relegated to the margins, subcontracting under unfair terms, denied access to major procurement, and silencing decision-making platform. So this injustice has weakened the sector, disempowered our companies, and distorted the principles of fairness that our democracy is built upon. So the purpose of this day is therefore, ladies and gentlemen, one, to announce that the era of exclusion and monopoly is over. MNSA is here to ensure that the majority stakeholders in the industry are no longer spectators, but decision makers. Number two, it is to align ourselves as partners in transformation, committed to supporting governance and national leadership in creating a transparent, corruption-free and inclusive security industry. And to affirm that the MNSA is not a talk show, but a movement of companies united to reclaim ownership, demand equity in procurement, and open doors of opportunities for those historically locked out. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, from today, the message is clear. We are not calling for a war, we are coming with peace, but a clear, fair, deliberated peace within the security business. MNSA is the shield and the spear of marginalized companies. We exist to restore balance, to champion justice, and to build on industry that reflects the true face of our nation. So this day is not just about media briefing. It is about declaring the business of security will never be the same again. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mzansi National Security Association. I thank you. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, SG. Thank you, SG. Thank you, President. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. I'd like to give a platform to Chief Communication Officers. The platform is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Chair. I am going to give a speech. Ordinarily, the speech is supposed to be given by the leader of the association, the president. But as the Chief Communication Officer, I speak on his behalf. Whatever I say is not my position, it's the position of the structure, which is the association as correctly led by Mr. Setona. So these words are from Mr. Setona and the entire leadership of the association. Let me first and foremost greet again my colleagues in the front, and specifically greet the president of the association, Mr. Setona. You are humbly greeted. And also greet all the directors present, and of course members of the media. You are all greeted and welcome. The statement goes as follows. To all the esteemed directors, the leaders of the South African companies of securities, it is both an honor to address you today on behalf of the founder and the vision bearer, President Setona, and the entire executive leadership of the Mzansi National Security Association. The MNSA has been founded on a non-profit company of companies, a unifying umbrella body created not for individuals, but specifically to serve the business in the security industry that have been systematically sidelined, excluded, and economically disempowered. We stand here today with one message: the era of the marginalized in the business of security must end, and it ends with MNSA. On the question of the captured industry, our position is as follows. The private security industry in South Africa has been long one of the most profitable sectors in the economy. Yet, the ownership of the procurement benefits and the licensing opportunities have consistently favored a small monopolistic minority, which is predominantly white in the space. The formation of MNSA, it is a declaration of justice, balance, and equity in an industry that must serve the whole nation, not just a few privileged. It has come to our attention that black, colored, and Indian-owned companies have too often been relegated to the periphery of the industry. Many are forced to exist as subcontractors to white monopoly companies, receiving scraps while those monopolies pocket the lion's share of profit. Licensing regimes, procurement frameworks, and contract awards have consistently failed to reflect the demographics of our nation. We cannot ignore this any longer. And the demographics of our own nation are composed of colored, black, Indians, and white. And also the procurement framework and contracts, awards, and licensing systems ought to reflect such. The MNSA has emerged as a counterweight to this injustice. It has emerged as an organized, strategic, and legally grounded collective of companies determined to structure this industry in the interests of fairness, transformation, and true economic empowerment. Our position on why a non-profit company of companies, why did we deem it fit to organize such an institution? We choose to build MNSA as a non-profit company of companies because we are clear about our purpose. This is not about personal enrichment. This is not about a few individuals building their own empires. This is about a collective justice for the marginalized businesses who deserve their rightful stake in the national security economy. By structuring ourselves as a non-profit, we ensure that every resource we gather, whether financial, strategic, or advocacy-driven, is channeled back into the companies that make up MNSA. MNSA is a conglomeration of many companies, not a single company. This model therefore allows us to do the following: to level the procurement playing field. It allows us to build a collective bargaining platform for financing, insurance, and compliance. This platform of MNSA also further allows us to alleviate companies from subcontractors to prime contractors. When you alleviate companies, we also alleviate the black, coloreds, and Indian companies, which are predominantly the ones who are sidelined according to the current status quo. MNSA is your chamber of empowerment, a shield for your companies, and a spear to break open locked doors in procurement and policy systems that govern all security companies in South Africa, Africa, and abroad. I know the President, with his permission, after we've launched in South Africa, we are going to Africa, starting with Swaziland, going to Botswana, then we go up Central Africa, Lesotho. Lesotho is like South Africa, yes. Since here in the middle, we'll be passing by, going to Botswana, and we start with Lesotho, then we go abroad. The vision is too big under our President of Securities. On our call to security companies, this is a call directed to all, like I've said previously, to all black, colored, and Indian security companies. We specifically and intentionally start with those ones that are relegated and sidelined. And we have organized ourselves not as a hate organization, but as an organization of equity and equality. So it means by being part of MNSA, you are not joining MNSA or you do not form part of MNSA because you hate a section or a specific group, but you form part of MNSA with a sole intention to alleviate, to equalize, to ensure that all of us are at the same level. So our formation is not on the basis of hate, but it's on the basis of equality, equal opportunity, fairness, and love for everyone. When I say everyone, including the companies of Hendrik Verwoerd, our brothers, they must also, at some stage, work with us collectively because we love everyone. On the affiliation with MNSA, affiliation is not about belonging in another association. Affiliation is about joining a movement of companies determined to rewrite the future of this industry. Through affiliation, you gain the following: representation at the decision-making levels of government and industry, the collective financial muscle through pooled empowerment schemes. You further gain access to compliance support to meet PRISA, PRISA, and procurement requirements. You further gain a powerful lobby group that defends your interests nationally and internationally, like I've said. Our vision goes beyond the borders of South Africa. With affiliating with MNSA, MNSA is not here to compete with your companies. It is here to amplify them. So by being part of MNSA, you don't close down your company, but it makes you to become part of a broader community of security companies. It makes you to enhance yourself in terms of building your own company. So by joining, you also open opportunities for yourself as an individual, but for your company and those that you work with. The following is the program of action of MNSA. Our program of action for the business of security companies is very bold, uncompromising, and very practical. Number one, on procurement advocacy. We will lobby government, state-owned entities and private sector players to end the exclusion of marginalized companies from tenders. We will demand the transformation quotas to ensure that black, colored and Indian-owned security companies receive a fair share of contracts. We will expose and confront gatekeeping practices that lock small and medium companies out of the industry. On the collective bargaining, which is number 2 on the program of action. Collective bargaining platforms. We will build a cooperative schemes to reduce the cost of compliance, insurance, and financing. Through MNSA, companies will be able to negotiate as a bloc, not as isolated voices. You know that the workers have their own unions, systems. Now we are a board of directors, board of companies. We are a bloc, fresh from the box. Clap hands for this MNSA. On number 3, on compliance and business development, MNSA will provide directors with advocacy services on PRISA licensing, tax compliance, and tender readiness. We will run executive training programs for company leadership, ensuring affiliates are always competitive in the market. Number 4, on the economic empowerment, MNSA will establish on an NMSA capital pool to help companies acquire vehicles, equipment, and technology. We will encourage a joint venture and partnership amongst members to bid collectively for larger contracts. When it comes to industrial research and positioning, MNSA will commission studies and publish reports exposing monopoly control and advocating for transformation. We will position MNSA as a think tank of the business security industry, influencing policies and also the data and the authority in relation to the security industry. On the countering of AfriForum with business unity, a wise man or a wise woman will ask about AfriForum and similar monopolistic organization. What is our position? Our position is very clear. AfriForum speaks for the minority. MNSA speaks for the majority. Because AfriForum is a white-centered organization existing for white interest only. MNSA exists for the majority, which is black, colored, Indians. And to be controversial, President, also white. Because remember, we are not an association of hate that we hate Afrikaners. But our position says there are people that are excluded in the business sector, like openly excluded. Can we equalize them with those that are already eating? And by design of God or ancestors or anyone else, it's white in the name who are eating alone. And you are saying everyone must begin to eat. And MNSA is there to equalize, not to exclude others. So the vision of MNSA is the equality of all companies, whether black, white, Indian, or colored. But we are starting where the problem is. And the problem is with the colored, black, and Indian companies, which are perpetually excluded, marginalized, and pushed to the outside. AfriForum has resources because it has monopolized the space. MNSA will break that monopoly by building the collective strength of the marginalized companies. So our strength is our unity. Our approach is not reckless confrontation, but a strategic redress and fairness. We will not apologize for standing up for the marginalized businesses. Our mandate is justice in the economy and security. We know others when we say when they hear the name equality and we group colored, black, and Indians, they get shaky. But why are you not mentioning whites? And they think that we are pushing anyone away. We are not pushing anyone away, but we are starting where the problem is to address the problem. When the problem is addressed, then we can all shake hands, hug, and share everything. MNSA is about building a united bloc so that we can share equally in this economy. And fortunately, the security industry is one of the most lucrative industries. The only problem or the only report that we've identified as directors of the organization was that we are not organized as company owners. So hence MNSA has come to close that gap so that we can be able to speak with one voice in confronting all the problems, because across South Africa, all our problems as company directors are almost the same. But we all negotiate and speak as silos, as individuals. Now MNSA is to come and speak on behalf of all companies as an association collectively. Our problems are one, we should discuss them and share notes and fight as a united bloc. And also, President, we mentioned AfriForum. We also have many companies. We have companies like the Protea Securities, the G4S.
Yes.
At some stage, as MNSA President, we should, our call for justice must also go to those companies. Why would you have, like we have thousands of security companies in our country, why would a foreign company be entrusted with guarding prisons and correctional services of South Africa? Like a foreign company comes in another country, in South Africa, and is the one responsible for the criminals of that country. We should be able to get some answers with MNSA. Are you saying in South Africa there is no South African company owned by 100% South Africans that can be responsible for our correctional services? Protea Security Company, I heard it's an American-oriented company.
Yes.
With some directors. They are just recruiting employers here and also some people at the managerial level, but the ownership of that company is an American establishment. In America, there are too many problems and too much crime. American companies must also focus in America. I think the issue of security does not require a scientific process. We can secure it ourselves as South Africans. So I think the MNSA must also not only speak to AfriForum only, but also speak about these American companies of securities that have hijacked the security industry in South Africa, while we have many companies in South Africa of securities that can do exactly the job they are doing, but do it much more better, because we better know the corners of our country than any American or Sudanese or any of that nature. In closing, directors and business leaders of security industry, this is your moment. The Mzansi National Association is your home, your platform, and your collective weapon in the struggle for transformation. No longer will we be accepting subcontractors in our own country. No longer we will watch tenders flow past us into the hands of the monopolies. No longer will compliance be used as a barrier to exclude our companies. We declare today that the era of exclusion is over. Together through MNSA, we will rebuild ownership, restructure procurement, restore dignity in the business of security. The MNSA is not just an association, it's your collective future. I therefore thank you on behalf of the
Siyabonga, from our Chief Communication Officers, spokesperson. Now we move to the next phase, and I would like to present our presidential message of support from my president, Mr. M.E. Sidona.
Thank you.
Melang, Sanbonani, Abisheli, Molweni, Kuyedag. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues, security industry, industrials, leaders of business, members of the media, and distinguished guests. I welcome you all. It is an honor to stand before you to address a matter of profound national importance. The security industry does not only protect our communities or our economy, it also carries the responsibility of protecting livelihood in our townships, in our suburbs, creating jobs and restoring dignity to our South African people, black, colored, Indian in particular. The Saddam has been reflected as true face of South African by being fair, exclusive, and transformation. So now I just want to take some key points of the role of the security cluster. The security cluster is one of the foundations of stability, prosperity in our country. It is not only about protecting buildings, business, communities, it's also about protecting the families from where you came from, creating employment and ensuring that everyone, men and women who support entire families, they must be free, because our women and they're the ones who pay some school fees, taking care of the family things, so they must be catered with. When the businesses are exclusive, poverty is entrenched, communities are left behind, and the dream of economic freedom in our lifetime is pushed further out of the reach by this white monopoly capital. Here we are entering the space of the white monopoly capital. We are not fighting them like my spokespersons and my secretary have alluded. But we are saying, let's share the economy of the country to all who belong in it. Exclusion of youth in the space, the exclusion of youth and women in the space of security. As we fight for transformation, we also ensure that women and youth are brought to the center of industry. Too often have been excluded, yet women and youth people bring fresh energy. They bring fresh energy, innovation. Some of us are BBT. We are born before technology. You don't know anything about distance. They come with this innovation of drones, and the drones, who got those drones are the big companies. When they say they want to award tenders, they award it to the white people because they get drone. To buy one drone, you can attest, maybe it can be over 60, 70, 100,000. So when you get money, if you are not having an opportunity to work, they must not be added as an of thought, but must be empowered as a leader who will help shape the future of South Africa. Now I'm going to the key point of call for action. We cannot delay any longer. Leaders, we cannot delay any longer. Directors, we cannot delay any longer. And maybe because I see some of the big companies around here, I can see them, I know them. So we cannot delay any longer. The crime of radical transformation in our lifetime is now. I repeat, I'm saying the time for radical transformation in our lifetime in the security industry is now, not tomorrow, but now. Government and private sector's procurement policies must empower Indian, colored, black-owned business company with agency. SIRA must transform itself and act decisively as the regulator that enforces fairness and ends. You know what happened about SIRA? You go to SIRA and open your company, you register with 8,000. They don't care you got job, they don't even get job. But after 3 months, when you went there and get the letter of good standing, it depends on how many cards you have. If we have less than over 100 cards, we'll end up paying 50,000 rand for SIRA. To me, SIRA is a money-making scheme for the government. Yes. because it's an entity of government. It doesn't cater and fight for the rights of the directors. We as the directors with a problem day in, day out, where our employees take us to CCMA, take us to labor court and all those things. So we are here to say enough is enough. Let's protect each other. Let's work together. Fail of the procurement and the SIRA. The injustice made worse by the procurement system, by the failure of SIRA, the very regulator body that's supposed to ensure fairness. Instead of open opportunity, they often perceived monopolized. They entrenched the dominance of big historical privileged companies, which is fertility guards. Those big companies of white people, they're the ones who are monopolizing us here. And it cannot be. We are majority in this country. They are minority, but the economy is still in their hands. So we are saying to them, let's work together and share the economy of the country. Not minority must have more economy than others. Colored, Indian, black in particular. It is not acceptable. We cannot continue to allow system of corruptions, weak regulations to undermine our vision and transformation, exclusively the country. You know, this thing of corruption, there's a story of you took our kids to university, like my daughter, she's a third-year student studying in something. I paid a lot of money every year. So after she got jobs, then she can be killed by anyone because of the interest of the politicians. There's an innocent young man from Limpopo who was a CFO in Ikuruleni. Within 3 months, when he was in the office, busy with the audit, they killed him. And we know we had this killings of CFOs, they are the politicians. If you have a position, be a mayor, focus on your mayoral committee and salary. Stay away from procurement systems. And they are going to the procurement. They even have this tendency of saying they want to award the security tender. They will say to you, here's a security tender, we need 75 guns. You know how much you buy 30 guns? It's 350,000. So you're going to get that money for that gun. Hence, my spokesperson have alluded that we must come together to work together so that we can win all the tenders, not for only the white people, but us, Africans. Women impact. The struggle is not just about contracts. It is about people. It's about livelihood, Indian colored, black-owned security companies, employs thousands of guards and supervisors. South Africa has a chance to live safely and peace. Private security company alongside the South African Police Service and other agencies, we must work together. We must work together. There's a corruption out there. As last General Mkonazi exposed them. So we must work with them. We must work with them. You know, the white people, they form this thing of CPS in their communities. There's no crime here. What about us staying in the township? Like now it's in Maponya Mall, there was an incident of black in fight. And the companies guarding Maponya Mall, it's fertility guards. And no white person went to Maponya and buy anything. It's colored, black, and Indians. So why must they go and occupy our space? I think I don't have applause for that. Marginalized of Indian colored, black-owned company. We must speak the truth. Indian colored and black-owned security business remain in the marginalized of this industry. And not the face of exclusive in black-owned companies. The particular that continue to be most marginalized. Large white-owned companies dominated contractors in the municipalities. Large owned white companies in the municipality level, in the provincial level department, in the government level department. We know starting that OR Tambo. The name of the company, I know them. The owner is a black man, but behind him, there's the politicians who got power, who got influence. That thing must come to an end. And I think one day, communication with the SG, we must write a letter to that owner of that company. We want to talk to him so that we must share the economy of the country. I thank you.
Monopolizing and ensuring transformation, access to finance, equipment and training must be expanded so that smaller business can compete with equal term. Exploitation, subcontracting must be replaced with fair. Enough is enough, ladies and gentlemen, that we must also be the follower and be the subcontract. You must be the boss of your own. Director Bolle, I saw you. I'm happy you are here from Free State. I'm happy, my brother. Thank you. Let us commit ourselves today to be a new path where Indian blacks owns companies along with women and youth are not kept at the marginalized but stand as equal partners. I thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President. Honorable Mr. Sitona. I would like to take 5 hands. Please, only 5, and then we move to our next session. Can I just see hands? Just only 5. 5 hands. Okay, you are noted. 1, you are noted. Number 2. Can I get another hands, guys? Okay, number 3, number 4, oh, okay. Can I get one last hand? One last hand. Okay, number 5, you are noted. Please, when I give you a mic, you introduce yourself and you say where are you from, and then we move. Number 1.
My name is Sipo. I'm from Panabay. I'm a director. Sometimes I'm really shy to say I'm a director because my company doesn't have work. But I'm a director of NSSG Security. My first question was almost covered. I was to say, how soon will Mzansi take off? Because we've been longing for something like this. But we covered it, the president covered it. My next will be, we have companies that has been given contracts, a green light contract, meaning it will be there maybe for future. So we want to know how can Mzansi help, because some of these companies are around our areas, but now it's impossible for us to even say we can go and look for a job, because we know so and so company will be there for all these years. For as long as that company is there, the security company will remain. So it's impossible. We'll only be given smaller jobs that come for only 2 months to work, and that's it. And the next one will be we have big companies which have been in business for years. For instance, like Safeguard. Safeguard is a company that working with ShopRite Checkers. Now Checkers, what is this? You say is in our townships, but you won't see maybe an advert saying security guard for ShopRite, but they will bring Safeguard with them. So it's one of the things we need Mzansi to help us so that we can also tender for such jobs. Again, can Mzansi also try to fight the system of tendering? In most cases, my company is very small, but in such cases, say maybe you want to tender for a university, they will require you to have guns, fleet, and those are things that you don't have. And those companies also, they don't develop smaller companies like myself, and they'll be working there for many years. We have the University of Technology, VUT, PRP has been there for a long time. We don't even have one company from our local that is subcontracted to PRP. So can Mzansi also take on such things? Thank you.
We had another hand from the side. Speaker number 2.
Afternoon, colleagues. We are from the N1 Freeway Assist, and in most cases, the guys from N12 are overlapping. They are getting the credit for what we are doing. With all the spiking, we've been fighting this thing since the 14th of December last year, 2024. But every time it's the guys from N12 that's overlapping. They are busy taking pictures, claiming that they are doing the job. How can MNSA assist us in that regard? Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tsolo Mrapedi. I'm from a company called Fakwena Events Management. I'm from the Free State. First and foremost, I would like to compliment the association for forming such a structure. It's a good move that you do, guys. Secondly, I just want to find out, will the association be acting as a unitary body for security companies? Because like I've mentioned, we are from the event sector. We are not from the security sector, but we work day in, day out with security companies. Now, we would like to work with security companies that are regulated so that should we have problems or issues, we know where to go to. So that's my question basically. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, President, Chairperson, all the leadership. My name is Edin Gomane. I think I'll be short because some of the questions have been covered. But maybe let me also acknowledge the establishment of this organization. You know, I can imagine the efforts that you usually put to making this organization possible. I just also want to quote some of the statements which was made by the president. By the way, I'm also on the media team, you know, covering this particular event from 20-something production. So I also wanted to understand the transformation agenda, you know. Perhaps maybe in future you maybe try to understand that, you know, as when you talk about transformation agenda, the gender equality, you know, we're in Women's Month, and I know the security industry is male dominated. Perhaps in future, maybe this is a call to women as well to also play a critical role in the leadership position, because we also need to change this narrative that security is male dominated. So I also want to understand the mechanism that you have put in place to do the capacity building workshop, because what I've realized in most of the security organizations, the matter of compliances, perhaps the organization, there is a mechanism that you're actually going to use in making sure that when you do the community outreach programs, you know, in locating the various security companies, you know, to be fully capacitated, because mostly it's a matter of compliance, whereas you find that you want to tender for a certain services to any government entities, but you are not compliant. So capacity building workshop, I think, is vital. Lastly, maybe you also want to understand also the mechanism that you also have in making sure that you do the proper monitoring and evaluation to all the government entities that are in your space, because that is also critical. You know, that's where you get the figures as far as the economic inclusion of all the security companies. I think I'll cease there for now, Chair. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vivian Wagampanza from Sibobona Security Services. I just want to agree with my brother. We want to acknowledge the formation of the association. In terms of what they've alluded so far, it is promising, and we want to say thank you for that. My question is based from Babungomane. He just, laid it out. I would love the association to look at the procurement system. I understand it is a male-dominated industry, but we thank God for brave women like us. We've been here since 2005 and we've been moving ever since. So most of the challenges that we face is this Sierra industry, Thank you so much, President. We are with you to fight, not to fight. You said we were not here to fight, but fight professionally, against this industry, because when you get into their doors, it's money. Yesterday I was just sharing with my friend here, I just paid 4,000 something, and it's really concerning, because really, imagine you are a first, you just formed your company. They don't care, President. They don't care. Actually, you must pay that 8,000, and each and every year it's an annual fee. It's going to rise up. So previously, since we started in this industry, security, they used to call us, that we contribute when they make these increments. Nowadays, I don't even receive an email to say, come and make contribution. You just see it, when you get there to renew your certificate, your personal certificate or the company certificate, you have to pay extra. You have to pay. Something needs to be left there. So really, President, thank you so much. We are with you. We are going to support this organization. And then if we can look, really, it's a lot. I don't want to go to the bargaining, the PSSPF. This issue of compliance is the one that makes small companies not to grow. I've been small since I started. I'm tired of being a small company. Now I want to run big. Thank you so much, President.
Thank you for all the questions, and I got a summon from my SG. He's saying he doesn't want to suffocate. The reason I added the lady here is because it's Women's Month. And I'm going to take a fall for that. My SG, I know I'm breaking the law, but the gentleman did raise a hand. And for that, I want to add another woman. So SG, if you discipline me, your time will come. But can I give you, because you've raised your hand and oh, you sorted. Okay, you're covered. Oh, okay. Now we're going to the second phase session of this. Pardon? Oh, okay. The person who will be answering these questions is our Chief Communications Officer and my Secretary General. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think it's much more comfortable to answer sitting down. Is that fine, directors? Or should I ascend the podium? Is it fine? Okay, thank you so much. Number one, I have jotarized here in my little... the first question, I think if I were to put it into context, I would therefore say is how will MNSA practically benefit my company? If I affiliate, because the question when I heard it was actually speaking to affiliation. Leaders, our company through affiliation represents representation. We are dealing with a lot that we will represent your procurement advocates. And number 2, we are indeed going to deal with collective bargaining platforms. And number 3, we are indeed going to deal with compliance and business development. So these are the benefits of your affiliation. That the time where you run solo and they know that there's no one to stand for you, MNSA is here to advocate for you. And maybe cascadingly, looking back at question number 3, then my Chief Communications Officer will go to the other as well. I got interested to put it back again into context, that looking at the procurement, its competitiveness, how will you force government and corporates to marginalize companies' contracts? I think you were dealing with that question. That we as the MNSA, through policy advocacy and lobby, we will demand transformation quotas in state and corporate procurement. And indeed, we will push for legislative equity measures in awarding of securities. And we will indeed name and shame and expose monopoly practices that are taking place. It means we are saying the behind the door transaction is over in the security industry. And MNSA is here. And to furthermore, to answer the question of in the N12, there is a certain, if I would call it a saga that is happening. MNSA in its POA, program of action, is here to be visible. And through MNSA leadership and your companies as directors coming together in unity, we will win the N12 either. Over to you, my spokesperson.
Thank you very much. I think almost all questions are actually covered. But I think on my brother there at the back, from our media house, who spoke on the transformation agenda, if you read through the speech I gave on behalf of the association, the presentation I gave, it also touched on the transformation agenda. But it was further emphasized by the president of the association, who spoke that the security industry must be transformed, specifically when you speak about the youth and also the women in the space. You will understand that the big companies of security industries are white, male dominated. Not even white women are in the space, but it's predominantly white, male, old. Not just males who are at my age, it's old people who are directors in the space. Those who grew up, who were our age during apartheid, they are still there holding these big companies. They're the ones that we call monopolistic companies. Not the ones who are making a 500,000 profit a month. The ones who are actually making millions a month are white, male, old characters. So the association wants to see women, the colored women, the Indian women, the black women in the front. Wants to see the youth, black, colored, and Indian in the front. Not that the old must die. They must also be part, but we want to be intentional also to bring other sectors. I think it answers on the question of transformation that you spoke about. Of course, the capacity building workshop also is covered. I think the presentation that was made, SG, must also be shared, the copy, to everyone else who's here. It also spoke on the capacity building, the workshops of the companies under MNSA, and the also sharing of tools, works of the organization. It's also central to the mandate of the organization. So it's there. The capacity building workshops are there in relation to tailoring processes, the procurement processes, and entirely the security industry in its broader sense. Okay, I think on this one, it's our lovely sister who spoke on the company. Indeed, you can't be a small company from 2008. Five. No, that's almost 20 years. That's not a small company. It's a veteran company. It's an old company. I think if a child was born in 2005, that child is 25 years. 20. So a 20-year-old company cannot be a small company. It means there's something wrong with the system. That's where MNSA has a role to play in terms of growing together. Remember, if MNSA is an organization or is an association which is built by different directors of companies, it's an association of directors, not an individual security personnel, but a company affiliates under MNSA. So one of the things that we have to do, including President, you always say that even when there's a job that must be done, we have to assist each other. The President has spoken about that they will sometimes demand 75 guns. I think it's his recent experience. Luckily, he has those guns. Others might not have those guns. So we need to be sharing how do we grow each other, how do we nurture each other, how do we protect each other in the space. And exactly like we have said, our strength lies in our collective wisdom, like coming together, not seeing each other as a competition. If we know that the company is working under MNSA in that area, we need to support that company by all means necessary. If we know one of our companies in MSA is working in that section, we know that that company must be supported moving forward. So I think our strength lies in our collective work and our protection, equal protection, and our sharing of tools of work, knowledge and systems as it relates to securities. And also there's a brother who spoke on the big supermarket, like you said, that ordinarily comes with security companies. I think, President, that must come to an end. If you come to work in this area as a shop or as a supermarket or as a mall, people in that area, they should be of preference. Like you can't come here and take a company that is not known around here where we exist as MNSA. So I think that's how we need to be able to look closer to those issues. But remember, this is our first interaction. Many of these interactions, because I know there will be a register circulating here, we will have them regularly where we share notes or we share the scope of work where we assist each other moving forward. But I think that's just our introductory part in terms of doing the work. I think I should close because there's food now. Everyone is going to eat. And it's on the President. The food is on the President. And lastly, I think the notes here, I think on the last point, this is not a security mafia organization. So if you are joining, you are not joining a security mafia. I know there are construction mafias, there are what mafias. It's not a security mafia. This is a legal entity which is guided by proper legalities, which whatever fight we put, it must be constitutionally supported, legally binding. But it doesn't mean we won't fight. We will fight, but we fight for rights that we deserve, not the rights that we do not deserve. And our fight must also be constitutionally driven, also legally binding. We know there are many shenanigans happening in the security industry. So for those who might think that they are in a meeting of a security mafia, we are not opening one. This is a legally binding association which must do its work constitutionally. Thanks, President.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you so much. I think in the point of emphasis towards the issue around the black-owned companies struggling with compliance with SIRA, we want to answer that deliberately, that MNSA will confront SIRA licensing and tax clearances and SARS readiness, as well as bid documentation and tender compliance. We know that compliance is used as a weapon of exclusion. But MNSA has come now to make it a move of empowerment. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are not, to those who are asking questions of, are you another union? We are not a union, we are an association. We are not limited by perimeters of representing certain individuals. We are strictly within the perimeters of the security industry in South Africa. And I think the spokesperson did mention that in the near future, we will even look in the broader scale of the continent. I thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you from our executive team. And indeed, we all share the same sentiment. And all of that is exclusion. And there's one term I really, really hate in media. You know, when you're a small business, you are regarded as a construction mafia. And then we have companies, white-owned companies, who are not even from the township. They come with constitutions, we abide by them. When we show them their mistakes, they call us construction mafias. It's really confusing because here our frustration is one, exclusion. Because we have ADT. We have ADT. ADT has been here since I was a small boy. And I've never had them bidding for any tender. And it's maybe it's the way I think, but those companies are big construction mafias. And another frustration, guys, I've been in security since 2015. Our rates don't change. Our rates don't change. We are being oppressed by the so-called construction companies who come and big shots of these industries who come and offer us jobs. Really, we are not making much. We are suffocating, but I'm glad we have now discovered an association who will be focusing on that, really, because as a family man, it scares me. What legacy am I going to leave for my kids? Because after Makubu Holding, then my kids won't take over, and they can't have the mindset that I have. And I'm gonna raise this as a big failure from our government. The Department of Small Business Enterprises is a failure to all our businesses. And I don't know why our government keeps on pouring and giving MECs and MMCs those positions, because they are not working. Because they should have developed a structure of saying, from Soweto we have 5 companies, from Ekurhuleni we have 5 companies. Come, let us strategize. Where is our weak point? Where are we failing you? SIRA is failing us. We have, on tender compliances, all those private companies are really failing us. Bargaining council is really failing us because we've never even engaged a meeting with bargaining council, and really we need it. And the list goes on and on and on and on. Can we move to the next session? SG, do we move to the next session or do we? Oh, okay. Thank you, SG. And now we move on the second session, chaired by our Chief Communications Officer, Chief. Please, Sonder, from the Chief, from the SG. Okay, SG, SG, take over.
Thank you very much. Can we just give a round of applause to the chairperson? I feel some weight has been moved amongst the directors sitting here, and to the initiator of this prominent association. Firstly, we want to acknowledge His Excellency the President, Mr. M.E. Sitrona. Can we just... I think there's a saying somewhere in my spokesperson, I won't want to specify in which code of reference where that says there is a person that will write a vision and there will be runners of the vision. And with the strategic team that he has indeed gathered around himself, we have worked around this and had our research, and I'm sure that even yourselves are proud of this moment with such presented articulation. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, mine is too short, is to just say thank you to the media team that made sure that we are broadcasting worldwide, actually nationwide. It means we are going well, so I'm speaking live. So to the executive, the chairperson of the day, and the chairperson of the whole, the quorum of the association, we thank you, sir. The spokesperson, we thank you. And to every, most importantly, the directors of companies, thank you. It means, yes, those hands means, it means indeed, from Free State we recognize you, and other provinces as well, that indeed this is a moment that South Africa is about to shake within the security space. And we are saying, as the Mzansi Security Association, we are the Mzansi Shield, the voice of the security industry. So I think with that being said, we are not a church, we didn't close in prayer, we're not closing in prayer, opening in prayer, but because we came for business deliberations, and I think, but we acknowledge that even MNSA, I want to take this time that it is blessed because we've got bishops in the house. Bishop Munda is here with us. Can we just give God, give him a praise there, right there. Just clap hands for him. The bishop is there. So we really appreciate that indeed. We are not only, you see, there is a motion of, that we must understand, that you can have a gun, you can have the sword, but if you don't have the overseer, your sword is useless. That's why we thank God that MNSA puts God first and everything after. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your time, and we thank you for your prominence in articulations with us. With that being said, salute.
I think comes to our Secretary General, Bishop Mafena. And now we are coming, it's networking, one-on-one interviews with the media house. We need that. I'm looking at the media guys, hey, they want to clean, but it's okay. And then after that, before that, we're having refreshments, and then when we come back, we're having a one-on-one with the media house. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Can everyone serve yourself? Are we saying serve yourself? Or ladies first? But it's not fair. On food, it's women first. Everything is women first. Oh, okay. In Bogoto, they're saying ladies first. I imagine